February 1989. Almost to the end of my tour of duty in California. Going to be going off someplace else. You'll find out about that later. But we're still in February 1989. I read, it looks like 6 books. So we'll get right into it because I got nothing else to say. We started February with The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Do I need to tell anybody what this is about? I could talk about the fact that this has now become part of the public domain, and there is a brand new book out called Nick. That's the story of Nick. And I swear that book hit bookshelves the day The Great Gatsby became public domain. Like, they were ready for it. That's might be a slight exaggeration. But anyway, I read Gatsby. It was good stuff. I enjoyed it. The next book is the only book on here that I did not actually read in its entirety. And that's Jane Brody's Good Food Book by Jane Brody. And I have written in my list here, it says Sans Recipes. Because I don't remember why I read this. It must have been recommended. Maybe it was recommended by Dennis O'Neil in the pages of the Question comic book. That's the one thing I can think of that would have made me read this book. But the first half of the book is all about healthy eating. And then the second half is recipes. So I had no need to read just read a bunch of recipes in a book. But I did read the first half, all about eating habits and being healthy and food and all that stuff. So that's it. But this is the only book since 1985 on this list that I did not read completely. Any other book that I've never finished doesn't go on the list. Number 3 is Trace, Getting Up with Fleas by Warren Murphy. And, all right, that's weird. But anyway, sorry, looking at my notes, they're out of order. So Trace, Getting Up with Fleas by Warren Murphy. Trace, of course, works for an insurance company. He investigates insurance claims normally. But in this case, there's this actor who likes to get into dangerous situations, put his life on the line. He's got a huge policy with the insurance company. So Trace is sent to basically be kind of a bodyguard. I mean, he's not protecting the guy against, somebody trying to hurt him. He's just trying to keep the guy alive so that the insurance company doesn't have to pay out this huge policy. And then there is a murder that Trace investigates. Next up, another nonfiction. We have 3 nonfiction books out of 6 this month. So the next one is The Tao of Physics by Fritjof Capra. I think that's how you say the name. And this is, again, probably something that was recommended in the pages of the Question by Dennis O'Neil. Although I think at this point I was picking up all sorts of philosophy and stuff on my own. I do know at some point I read some philosophy book or science book, and then months later it was recommended by Dennis O'Neil in the pages of the Question. So I was getting ahead of him. So I can't say for sure if this was recommended or if it was just something I picked up. But this is a look at essentially science and Eastern mysticism and how they can be compatible. How you can view one through the lens of the other and vice versa. Pretty interesting. So again, something I'm interested in reading a second time. Good stuff. Let's see. The next book is Double Whammy by Carl Hiaasen. And this is possibly the first R.J. Decker book. R.J. Decker is a news photographer turned private eye and there's a largemouth bass tournament going on, and murder. And so R.J. Decker gets involved. These books are hilarious. I've been fishing. Not a professional fisherman. Never entered a tournament. Seems like something, you're going to commit murder for a largemouth bass fishing tournament? Well, people commit murder to get on a cheerleading squad, or get their kid on a cheerleading squad. So I guess, do we really need an excuse to commit murder? Recommended if you want to read a very, very funny mystery. Carl Hyacin, hilarious author. And then finally, we have Ethics by Aristotle, the last nonfiction book of the month, the last book of the month. I have Ethics written down on my list, but when I looked this up, apparently every copy I could find said, we'll see how I pronounce this, Nicomachean Ethics, whatever it is. I tried to look up the pronunciation and found like 4-5 different ways to pronounce it. Nicomachean, whatever. And this is, it's Aristotle. It's a book about ethics. And again, this is me getting into philosophy. And that's it. Not much. An interesting mix. We got a classic. We got a couple mysteries, both pretty lighthearted. We've got some science mixed with philosophy. We've got very general philosophy, very classic philosophy. We got a book about food. And no horror. What the hell? So, that's it. It was a weird month, apparently, for me. February out in California. Reading California-type stuff. Sure, why not? I'll call it that. I don't know. The double whammy's in Florida. Gatsby's in New York, right? Where does Gatsby take place? I don't know. Trace is in California. There you go. There's a California book. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got for you. I really don't have much else to say about this stuff. So, if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Don't know what we're going to spoil, but comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comics, games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's it. That's all I've got. So until next time, read more books.